What's up, fam? It's your homeboy Big Mac coming at you with another video from North Carolina, talking about the NCDOC. Yeah, there's a story I haven't really talked about. It's what I'm saying, like in North Carolina, when you go to prison, they give you a job. You have to do it. If you don't do it, they write you up. You get a ticket. Your ticket costs you, I believe it was $10 back then. This is 2012 money, and they give you the ticket, and then you have to go see a committee, and you'll get whatever hold time or whatever punishment they want to give you, they'll give you. So this is back when I had a job. Now I worked in the clothes house because my criminal record and some things that I had going on wouldn't allow me to have a job outside the fence. I couldn't go outside and pick up trash on the side of the road. I couldn't go cut grass. I couldn't leave the fence. And now, mind you, I'm at what we call 025, which is the prison in New Hanover County, and it's a minimum security prison. But they had me on minimum one high because I had charges in other states. I had uh, unhandled charges in other states, assault on government officials, aggravated assault charges, violent charges, and so that I couldn't leave the gate, basically. So I was stuck in the gate. So they threw me in the clothes house, right? The clothes house is housed with the kitchen folks. So this is a wild story, man. If you ever had a job in North Carolina prison system, then you've heard of what's called the straw boss. All right, the straw boss is like in that movie Life. You know the inmate, that black dude that walks around with the shotgun, waking everybody up. And when the boss man says something, he says it right after him and all that. That's considered the old timey straw boss. The straw boss now is just basically the lead inmate. All right, it's the lead inmate on the job. He's usually the one that's been there the longest and knows how it's ran, so the officer don't have to be there with micromanaging everything. So I'm there for a month and a half before my release. I finally made my minimum a month and a half before my release, and they put me in the clothes house. Now, usually the normal uh, the normal stay in the clothes house as you move up, you start out tying up dirty underwear. All right, you tie them up in a bundle of 10 and you throw them in the basket. Alright, and then you get another bundle of 10, tie them up, throw them in the basket, and there's a line of inmates there, and we change clothes every day. So you do this every day. That's where you start. Then after that, you move, it's actually socks and underwear. Then after that, you move the dirty t-shirts, tying up 10 dirty t-shirts and throwing them in the t-shirt basket. Okay, after the t-shirts, you start handing out, or you start taking in dirty pants. All right, dirty pants is the guy that's standing at the window, and he's taking the clothes, all the dirty clothes from the people, and he's throwing them to where they need to be for the guys to tie up, right? And then he's tying up the pants 10 at a time. You fold them a certain way, you lay them out, you tie them 10 at a time, and you throw them in the dirty pants basket. Alright? Well, usually it takes either somebody getting out, going to the hole, or just plain getting fired for you to move up. You don't just trade places or anything like that. You got to work your way up, usually through time, but most of the time it's done through people going home. That's the most way it's gone down. It's just people going home. So I was in there for about 3 weeks, and I made it to the point of tying dirty t-shirts. The other two guys had went home. Now there's 13 guys in the clothes house, right, including the straw boss, who don't do nothing. He don't have to work. He just supervises the other inmates. So, and he runs the hustle out of the clothes house. Because believe it or not, the clothes house is one of the best hustles on the camp. You sell your whenever brand new clothes are being released, you're down there with the police and you pick out the clothes that need to come out, so you get first dibs on fresh t-shirts, fresh pants, fresh boxers. And believe it or not, a lot of inmates want that clean stuff, especially if they getting visits, and also especially like boxers and socks. Nobody wants to wear boxers and socks that somebody's done worn 10 times. Some other inmates has done worn 10 times and they come back yellow. No one wants to wear those. So you want to get you a clean pair of boxers, a couple of clean pairs of boxers, a couple of clean pairs of socks, and a t-shirt. And you can hand wash them in the shower with you and dry them in your locker. That's what I would do. So I made it to tying dirty t-shirts. And when I came into work one morning, because we have to be there real early in the morning to change out the guys that are going to work for that day. And I'm in there for work, and the officer comes up to me. He's like, "Hey man, how many guys you know on this camp ain't got no job?" I'm like, "Man, I can get some guys that need a job, man. Not everybody had a job." And he said, "Go get them." So I went and I didn't ask no questions. I just did what he said. I went and got him. The sergeant, he's the sergeant, the guy that overruns the clothes house, and brought him back. And he hired every one of them. So that made me go from tying dirty t-shirts to straw boss. But I was straw boss having to hand out clean pants. Now, after you get done tying up the dirty pants, I skipped this part. After you get done tying up the dirty pants, you move on to the clean clothes. You move on to handing out socks, boxers, and t-shirts, clean clothes, all right, at the next window. And then there's a guy behind you who has a big rack behind him, and it's got all the clean pants on it, all right? And that's where you get your clean pants from. And he throws them up there, and he gives you your one-day set of clothes, all right? And the straw boss is just standing back in the doorway back there, not really doing nothing. And you know what I'm saying? That's his job. He just don't really do nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's just there to maintain, make sure everything's running smooth. Nobody runs out of nothing. If we run out of sizes or something, he'll run back there and grab it, so we will, have something to throw out the window. And so anyway, I got bumped all the way up from tying dirty shirts, past the clean t-shirts, boxers, and socks, into passing out pants, but as straw boss, until he could fill the rest of the positions. Finally, by the next day, he had filled the rest of the positions, and I was the straw boss, which means I had the best hustle on the camp. Now, if you want a fresh outfit, back then in 2012 it was going for $3 an outfit. You wanted just a fresh tee, you gonna pay me $1. And you know what I'm talking about in prison money, man. With small amounts like that, you're talking about canteen. You're not talking about getting money mailed to you, unless it's like something like. And then you set up contracts with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you set up contracts with people. It's like, all right, every Friday, because you know you're going to have a visit on Saturday. Every Friday, I'm going to hook you up with something brand new and fresh. And you're going to pay me $6 a week to have that set aside, because not every week something fresh is going to come out. So I'm going to have to stash your fresh clothes somewhere hidden in the back, so I can give them to you. Fresh clothes only come out about once every 3 weeks. So if you want fresh clothes every week, it's gonna cost you $6 a week. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't, and plus my people had, got a little bit of money, and they were sending me money in there, which I wasn't even spending. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I got out, they had to write me a check. You know what I'm saying? They didn't even have enough cash in petty cash to give me my money when I walked out. They had to write me a check at the exit building, and so I get out. I get out of tying dirty shirts, and then I move to doing pants and stuff, right? And I'm passing out pants, and mind you, this is my home camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, so guys that I've been to school with, guys that I know from the street, all of us is there. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back to the other story. There's a weight pile on the camp, and I don't know if y'all watched the video of me telling you the story about the guy that tried to recruit me as the leader of a I don't know what you want to call it. It wasn't really white supremacist, but it was that Odinism religion, you know, which is basically linked to white supremacy, whatever. He wanted me to lead it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was the leader of the workout crew, and so two of them come up to me and asked me to lead it. And this was around the same time I made Straw Boss in the clothes house, so I didn't want anything to risk that. You know what I'm saying? And so I become Straw Boss of the clothes house, and I'm hustling all the way up to the day I go home. You know what I'm saying? And the day I go home, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a real convict, man. So, like, my people that I messed with on the camp, the guys that I knew from the street, and the guys that I knew from being doing time with them and stuff like that, I went around to them, and you can't mail letters from one prison camp to the next prison camp. You know what I'm saying? You can't mail letters that way. You got to send kites. So I went around to all the inmates that I knew, all the convicts that I knew from other prisons and from the streets or whatnot that had people in other prisons. And I was like, yo, man, get your letters ready. And as soon as I get out, man, I'll drop them at the post office for you, man. That way they'll get to the other prison, man. I'll fly them kites for you. And when I walked out of that prison, man, I had about that thick of a bundle of letters that got dropped into the little mailbox. You know, you open the door, you drop the mail in. About that thick worth of mail that I had to drop off. And so it's moral of the story is, man, it's funny how life can turn out, man. You know what I'm saying? Going from tying dirty ass boxers with skid marks all in them. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, man. You ain't never seen nothing that's disgusting in your life. You definitely got to wear gloves, but I'm telling you, by the time I get done with my shift tying up them dirty clothes, my gloves was yellow and brown, bruh. And people would send in the dirtiest, nastiest boxers and clothes. I mean, it looked like some dudes didn't even wipe their ass, bro. Like, no kidding, no shit. Like, I don't know how they was raised, but I mean, it just looked like they wiped their ass with their fucking boxers. Like, that's how bad the shit got sometimes. And that's why they start you out right there. And you know, once I became Straw Boss, I was able to find the ins and outs of the hustle. After I was Straw Boss for about 2 weeks, and I had about 2-3 weeks left on my sentence, they let the other guys back out of the hole that used to work there, and they hired them back and fired the new guys because they knew these other guys could run it more efficiently and fast, man, because that's the main thing. You want to run it fast because you got to change the whole camp. The whole camp, all 400 or 500 guys, however many guys there is there, you got to change them out every single day. You know what I'm saying? So you want to move it fast, you know what I mean? So you can have your time off, man, and you just want to move fast. And believe it or not, it was all right, man. You know, the officer pretty much just stayed in his office and let us do our thing. And when they let the guys out the hole, they let the guy that I'm just gonna call him O. They let him out the hole. He was the Straw Boss whenever I first started. He was the Straw Boss the whole time. They locked them all up because they caught them all smoking in the clothes house. So they locked them all in the hole for 2 weeks. So that's the reason they got locked up. When they come back out the hole, I put you're supposed to start right back from the beginning and work your way back up. But I went to the sergeant and I was like, look, Sarge, I need O as my number 2. You know what I'm saying? I need him right beside me. Because he knew he had been straw boss for a long time. He knew all the hustles. He knew all the good hiding spots. He knew how to deal with the SARS to get him to break out the new stuff. So I was like, look, man, I need O right here beside me. You know what I mean? So he didn't take the keys from me. You know what I'm saying? And when I say take the keys, I literally had a set of keys. It had 3 keys on it. It was keys to the building. So I could get in and out of that building as I pleased. You know what I'm saying? So me and O were the only 2 allowed in that building, and we had that place every time new clothes come out. Maybe half of the clothes out of the box, they come in boxes. You know what I'm saying? Boxes of clothes would come out, of t-shirts or whatnot. Maybe half of them would make it out the population. The other half we'd have rolled up, stuffed in corners, mixed in with the other clothes, but we know where they was at. And man, we was hustling our asses off in there, man. I never paid once for a cigarette in there. I never paid once for a roll up. I never paid for a Pepsi. I never paid for a honey bun. None of that. It was just straight hustle, man. And that's the thing, man. It's either in your blood to hustle or it ain't. You know what I'm saying? You either got it or you don't. And believe it or not, most people don't. Most people don't have it in them to hustle like that. And they either scared or they just don't know how or lack the drive. I don't know what it is. But me personally, I'm gonna hustle. I'm gonna get it any way I can get it. I'm gonna get it how I live it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming to prison sing too loud in church. I came to prison from breaking the law. So, you know, what do you think I'm gonna do when I get in there? I'm a side skirt every rule I can. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I won't get caught, but if I do, so be it. But anyway, I was just wanting to break that little story down about the clothes house hustle at the prison I was at. I ain't gonna elaborate no more deeper on it because the hustle may still be going on. So I want go ahead and chop this one off, man, and let it go. So subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. I know y'all get tired of hearing that shit. I get tired of fucking saying it, so I ain't gonna say the shit no fucking more. If you don't subscribe, you don't subscribe. If you don't like it, then I don't give a fuck anyway. You wanna talk shit, whatever. I don't care, be a keyboard warrior. Don't do it to my face though, you might regret it. But anyway, man, salute to all my homeboys, salute to all my soldiers, man. We'll catch y'all on the flip side. Stay sucker free.